Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. Had a couple of family issues to take care of, but everything's fine. Just wanted you to know that. Let me get on to the roll here. Hang on just a second. Had to get the roll out. It's 1945 Denver, tube to roll. Gonna go ahead and get you started here. There we go. All coins are out. And let's get started. Coin number 1 here for Jim Fletcher. Hey everybody. I'll get into doing some hey how you doings once I get going here. I want to get started here. Joe McBride, Farm Dog, Jessica, Wanda, Tim Morrell, Steel Horses, Bulldog, Eric Bayer. Got a bunch of people in here today. 11 people showing so far. Got nothing on coin number 1. Unfortunately. That'll go to Jim Fletcher. Let's take a look at coin number 2. Coin number 2 goes to Kevin Speaks. A nice die crack across the head. Pretty much all the way across the hair. Let's take a look at the reverse. We had pretty decent luck with 1945D so far, showing up with some double die obverses, some RPMs, and some double die reverses. So we'll just keep our eyes open throughout the entire roll to see what we see. There's Jeff Dunn. How are you doing, Jeff Dunn? Let's move on to coin number 3 here for Joe McBride. Looks like we've got nothing in the date and mint mark. Move up to the I and then up to the motto, and I don't really see anything here except some nice coins. These are pretty nice red coins. They're just a slight bit dark, but I also have my light just a little dark too. They're kind of toned down just a little bit. They're kind of a deeper red color. That's kind of common for these showcase bronze coins. Showcase bronze, of course, the metallic composition of the coins from 1944 through 1947 for the Lincoln cent. These were specifically made from World War II shell casings that came from artillery and naval ships. It was the brass sent back from the war. Had sulfur and other compositions in it. Trace amounts, though. And that's why it changes odd colors when it's minted. They minced it back in with tin to make the brass back into bronze. So you've got the French bronze, the regular French bronze composition. However, this particular composition also includes trace amounts of saltpeter and sulfur and other things used in shooting. So they are going to be a little bit different from your typical wheat cent, but they're not going to be much different at all. Just a little bit of the color they tone is basically the real difference. They still weigh the same thing. Hey, that's the second one of those I've seen now, and I'm unsure about it. There's a line running through the middle of the mint mark. It looks like a die scratch, though. I'm gonna assume it's a die scratch for now, and if I find out later, I'll pull it out. Of course, I'll make sure that I get all of them. Now, I've got nothing going on these coins yet. Should turn out to be a pretty decent roll, though, because these coins should all be in nice condition. This one's for Yeoman. That's coin number 5. Now for coin number 6 to Sureg. Big die crack. There you go. That's a big die crack. I'm going to call that a spiked head, but it's a spiked forehead. Nice one. Nice one, nice one, nice one. Move on to the reverse and check for any doubling on the reverse. Got nothing there. And that's for Sureg. On to coin number 7. Coin number 7 now. That's a different spiked head die crack. That one goes out to the R. The other one went out to the U through the forehead. So it looks like we were having an issue with die cracks the day this roll was made. Hey, hey, misplaced Youper girl. Yes, I prefer to keep my forehead free of spikes as well. I would rather save my spikes to string up neighborhood children and cats that crawl on my car. Nothing intended to hurt them, just to kind of string them up for a little while and show them who's in control and let them go. Hey, 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 Starbuck, how you doing, buddy? Paul Hampton. Getting a house full, got 23 people watching now. I have decided that it's not right for me to sell these boxes of coins prior to Jessica's auction that's coming up in an hour. I'll do them tomorrow after she's had a chance to have her auction. Then I'll come back tomorrow and do those boxes that I was talking about. I have, probably 10 or 15 additional boxes beyond the roll sale. There is another one of those. I have about 10 or 15 additional boxes that I can sell. Most of it's just odds and ends. Most of it is disorganized odds and ends, just stuff. But you'll get your money's worth because I'm selling them cheap enough. There should be plenty of room to spare in what I have and what I'm selling it for, or what I'm asking for it anyway. We're going to do an auction style, so I'm going to start off with a starting bid. It's another one of those with the spiked U. Come over to the reverse and see what we have. And it appears as though we have nothing on this reverse. And that'll be coin number 10. Now coin number 11. Coin number 11 in this roll is, it's not an RPM again. Doesn't appear to be a double die either. I think we've seen this die before, at least once. And now that we've got at least 2 different dies that we've seen multiple times, I can call this what I believe to be an original roll. And this one's from Mike Birchman. Now we're going to move on to coin number 12. That would go to Sureg. Coin number 12 to Sureg. I'm seeing nothing here so far. Keep moving along. See, there's another spiked head die crack. Totally different kind of spiked head die crack. We had one going through the U, one going through the R, and now one going just east of the E. So I had 3 different spiked head die cracks in this particular roll so far. This roll is from Tim Rathjen. Came through Joe McBride. And Joe is getting his coins out of this, a max allotment. And he's getting them for free from us because he is donating the roll to us. This is that roll, I do believe. I had a number of different rolls, Joe. Yeah, this is the roll from Joe. I have another 45D roll that's not from Joe, but this one is. That's coin number 13. Now we're going to be looking at coin number 14 for Mike Birchman again. This one has just ever so much of a very small amount of toning around the outside edge. A little bit more orange around the outside edge than it is in the center. The reverse has a couple of little spots. Nice coin overall. Because this is a tubed roll, I don't assume that this roll is in the same order that it was in when it was originally rolled, so we could run into a roll ender. In fact, I don't necessarily just assume that all of these coins were from an original, one single original roll. It could have been I think Tim takes batches of original rolls and dumps them into the machine and has them sort by basic grade. But Joe McBride did send this roll in as a donation to the channel, so we can all thank Joe McBride for that now. I appreciate Joe McBride. I appreciate his wonderful charity to us, but I also appreciate him because he's always around. He's always there. I talk to him quite often. There's only one machine in the world known to do it right now, and Tim Ratchin has it. He invented the machine. Not sure exactly how much it is or is not capable of, but it could be capable of sorting individual dies too, by die markers. I think it can read that. Still looking for our first die variety. Haven't found one yet. It's an unfortunate jumping off point on this roll. We'll get something out of it, I'm sure. And coin number 18 now. This one's going to Tim Morrell. Take a look at the reverse here. Didn't find anything on the obverse. And the reverse is showing itself to be normal as well. It's got a nice coin. I mean, most of these coins are very nice. This one's for Randy. Well, there's no double die on the obverse. Let's check the reverse real quick. The reverse is nice and lustrous, but it has a couple of hits right up there on the rim. But I don't see any hub doubling on this. No double die. Alright, let's do what we do with some of the coins that we go through. Let's do a backup view. Get an idea of the condition of the coins. There are a few spots on these, but they're also very nice red coins. Let me focus this in really well. There we go. It's misbehaving to be misbehaving. So there you go. It's a nice red coin with good luster. And here's the other side. Really nice red coin with very nice luster. So that's going to work really well. I'm talking about a 65, a gem red coin here. One more coin in the backed out view, and then we'll come back in. for a closer look. Here's the next coin in the roll. This one goes to Tim Morrell. Few little spots. Still a gem coin. A minor spotting on this. Smell what smells like a roast cooking downstairs. I guess I've got to get done with this to get to dinner because the girls are probably going to eat without me again if I don't get to them before 6 o'clock. So it looks like I'm going to have to scare this off and run as soon as we get done with our 50 coins here. There's coin number 21 now. Coin number 21 goes to Adam Chambers. Few spots on this one. Unfortunately, take a look at the reverse and see what we have there. I've seen this die before. I remember that die break inside the upper C. I've seen this in another roll, probably one of Tim's rolls. This is probably out of the same group as another roll group that we had another time. We found a bunch of double die obverses on that. I do remember that. Checking to make sure there's nothing on this one. Move us on. That's coin number 21. Now moving to coin number 22 for Eric Beyer. Coin number 22 is this one right here. Still have no RPM. 22 coins in, no RPM. Haven't missed anything yet, yo man. Just a bunch of decent 1945 Denver coins. I haven't had any die varieties pop out of this yet. And we're still waiting for our first good one. This one's Eric Beyer. It's coin number 22. Now for coin number 23. Coin number 23 will go to Jeff Stanley. And Jeff Stanley looks like is going to get a relatively normal coin. This is the same die that we just passed by. So it's not going to have any doubling just like the last one didn't. Kevin Speaks for coin number 24. Well, that's an interesting little lamination peel there. You got the peel folded down and struck into the coin at the head. That's interesting. Like that. Nice little lamb peel there. Now let's see what we have on the reverse. I see nothing so far. So that's going to be a decent coin with a nice little lamb peel. It's coin number 24, and it's going to go to Kevin Speaks. Now for coin number 25 goes to Randy. That'll put us halfway through the roll. Halfway through the roll and no die varieties found yet. This isn't the desired effect. That's an effect nonetheless. Coin number 26 goes to Deanne. Some of these coins have a little bit of a rustic look to them. They just look like they've been in a tube or a bag for quite a while. That's coin number 26. Now for coin number 27. Adam Chambers. Not really seeing much on these. We've got our spiked heads. There's the one going to the R. A couple of smaller errors here and there. But I haven't seen any die righties yet. No double dies, no RPMs. Not so far. Adam Chambers, coin number 27. Now for coin number 28, Randy. Randy. Nothing yet for Randy. Let's check the reverse and see if we come up with something on the reverse. And the answer to that would be no. Nice coin. It's pretty. I like the color on these. It's kind of an orangish color. It's a little bit darker than your typical Lincoln cent. There's Tim Morrell. A couple of little spots here and there on many of the coins, but they're relatively clean. Relatively clean. So you got this extra little ridge line running along the tops of the letters there. That's one of the forms of die wear that you get on older dies like this. It's not an error of any kind, but the die wear tends to ripple a little bit as it's coming inside from the edge of the coin. A lot of die wear actually starts at the edge of the coin because your molecules of steel are traveling on the die from the inside edge toward the outside. By the time they get toward the outside, it's kind of like one of those snowball things. Your track gets bigger, your track gets longer. But the other thing is that you've got a lot more of them coming off near the edge because that's where the wind is greatest, you would say. And so you've got a whole bunch of little lines near the edge, whereas you don't have nearly as many in the middle. They're kind of meandering around in different directions in the middle, but at the edge, you got that snowfall basically falling by the wayside of your mirrors, and it seems like it goes faster than the snow headed straight at you in the middle of the window. So that's kind of the effect that you get. You're kind of like a star tunnel. Yes, when you see that many flow line marks on a Lincoln cent, or if you see that ridge line that I was showing you, typically you're going to be at late die state or very late die state on that side of the coin. Now, like with this coin, the obverse is a little earlier die state than the reverse is. That's going to happen quite often, that you're going to have slightly different die states on each side. Part of that's because that hammer die, the one on the bottom, the reverse, took a lot of extra force. Took a lot of extra weight and force, and they wear out a little bit faster. Now the presses that are newer, you don't really have an anvil die and a hammer die. What you've basically got on the new ones is two dies that slap together more or less horizontally. So neither one of them has the burden of lifting its own weight while it's minting a coin. That's number 32. Let's go on to number 33. Gosh, I hate it. We're not really finding anything in this roll. This is one of our die cracks coming all the way out to the U, so it's a spiked head die crack. The spiked head die cracks typically bring a little bit of a premium online because if you get nice dramatic photographs of them, if you run them on eBay or some other popular website where a lot of people look for coins, you'll have someone bite the bullet on it, just want to buy it because it's so cute. but you're not going to find them listed in any price guides anywhere. Because the price guides are generally very vague as to varieties, errors, or anything like that. They mostly just list everything by date and mint mark. So you buy and sell by date and mint mark according to them. You don't ever buy stuff like this, even though it exists and even though you see it shows marked up. And you see people sell them on Facebook groups and eBay all the time at a premium. The mint nor the people who make the albums really care. It's kind of sad because we have an entire market they don't care about. And it's in coins, and they could capitalize greatly if they just took advantage of it. Imagine this. Imagine if PCGS hired the personnel to be able to attribute any die variety and give you the die state or the die stage of that variety. And if they could do that, they'd be in business for like 10, 15 different slabs per person on some of these dies, with the people liking to collect all there is of a given die variety. So like for instance, 1954 SRPM number 4. It's a really nice North RPM, and it nearly touches the 5 in the date. It's very east of where it should be. It's shifted to the right quite a bit. And it's not hard to pick out. When you pick one out, you see it, you know you have an RPM for sure, very easily. Also, when you do pick it out to go identify it, it's very easy to identify which one it is because of its position and the way it looks. So in general, dealers are going to be, or dealers or collectors are going to be pretty quick in being able to pick out that RPM exactly and send it in to have it graded. So there's a huge condition sensitive spread on some of the dies that PCGS doesn't recognize. Well, if they did recognize them, they could start recognizing them by die state. Call one early die state, one mid die state, one late die state, or for God's sake, they could go through all 14, 15 different die stages for that particular die, where you're wearing a die down, creating markers on it, changing reverses and whatnot. And if you did that at $25 a coin, you'd be making a solid mint. Absolute solid mint. Alright, unfortunately this coin's getting us nowhere. Let's move on to the next one. That'll be coin number 38. Coin number 38 will go to Jeff Stanley. Looks about like the others. Nothing particularly exciting other than the fact that it is a nice coin. Now, number 39. 39 goes to Jim Fletcher. I am going to be looking at all these again, so if you guys happen to see anything you think could be a die variety, well, for sure, I'll be looking at them again under a better microscope where I can see them more easily. So if it is a die variety, I'm not going to miss it. I will pick it out. And I will pick all of them out. The ones that are going to be too minor to list are going to be sent to you as is. The ones that are not too minor to list will be attributed. When they're attributed, they will get a new flip insert annotating the die and whether or not your coin was selected to be used as a plate coin for coppercoins.com. If it's a new listing, I'm also going to put that on there. Right now, it would say new listing 07/20 to tell you that it happened in July of 2020. Here's Kevin Speaks. Again. Unfortunately, we tend to be finding nothing but normal coins in this particular roll, so that's kind of where I think we are. In a normal coin status. There were plenty of times that the different mints minted coins just to mint coins, and there was no doubling on them or anything, and we fall into that bracket sometimes. When we pick up rolls, we never know exactly where they're coming from. I used to like knowing what month they were made. Generally, ones made earlier in the year tend to have more die variety issues for some odd reason. That comes from the many stories I've heard from people who discovered die varieties. Generally, it was earlier in the year. Alright, that's coin number 42. Now on to number 43. Got nothing on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. Hello, Javier. Okay, got nothing going on there. Now for coin number 44. This one goes to Sureg. Never fear, folks. This haze on the coins is not harming the coin in any way. It is removable. Much of the same thing that we've already been using. When it comes to red Lincolns, don't generally want to use much of anything else. The xylene comes off cleanly. Evaporates completely. This is going to Wanda. Let's see what we get for Wanda. Thinking about hiring me a music person to do a theme show. A theme song for this. Hunting RPMs and double dice. It's copper coins, something like, I don't know. Some stupid music. Something to make it look a little more on the professional side, you know what I'm saying? Get some sort of an intro that I can tack onto the beginning of every one of these videos. Other people do it, I should be able to as well. Oh, the horror. We're getting through an entire 1945 D-roll and not finding a single thing. That was coin number 46. Now on coin number 47. Try a little bit different look at the reverse first. Now we'll flip it over and take a look at the other side, see if we found anything. And the answer to that would be no. No stupid music. You'd prefer just to listen to my my stupid tongue twisters? My stupid voicemail messages? But no stupid music. That was a pretty solid yes. Didn't take any time to come up with that. So Wanda is definitely prone to wanting to watch what would be considered a
excusable,
very boring and mundane video of a bunch of
pennies rather than listen
to some fun music. Watch me do stupid pet tricks instead of listening to professionally made compositions. Some more cerebral music. No, definitely not cerebral. I can see maybe going to dubstep or something, but definitely not cerebral. Oh, there wouldn't be any music throughout. Absolutely not. We're just talking about something to get us started.
You know, like the Ren and Stimpy show.
Something like that. And now your host. The demigod of DDOs. It's the one and only. Maybe I could just play the Willy Wonka song from Charlie's Chocolate Factory. Willy Wonka, Willy Wonka. All the way through.
Folks, I'm sorry we ran into a normal roll here. This is a normal roll
of 50 coins. We got some nice ones in there,
but they are all normal 1945D Lincoln cents.
I like the music on the remake better because, well, Gene Wilder sings most of the songs in the original one, but in the remake they sing a few songs and it's all the Oompa Loompas singing. It's kind of cool. But anyhow, that's it for the roll. We've got 50 normal coins, and believe it or not, I did this in about 40 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and take off, eat dinner, and come back for the auction in 1 hour.
And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night.